Hello, everyone. This is the Movie Night Society here, and we're talking about uh, our next movie that we picked last week called Redline, an anime movie from I think 2009, I believe. Uh,
2009 or 2010.
yeah, and I want to try to pronounce the director's name, but I feel like I'm probably going to butcher it. Takeshi Koike. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, this was Will's pick. I'm curious. I think we said last time, but like, had any of us seen it before? I think Dustin
Yes.
has, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it, right,
I'm pretty
Dustin?
sure it used to be free on YouTube for a while. That's how I saw it.
Okay. I think Will and I hadn't seen this movie before.
Correct. Yeah, I had not.
So why did you pick it? I'm curious.
I heard great things about it, and the animation and art looked amazing. So, figured, hey, why not? That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just watched it today. Like,
So did I.
yeah, like a few hours ago. Um, I really liked this film. Like I really enjoyed it. Um, and I think the biggest takeaway from the movie is like how good the animation is.
It
Uh,
apparently took 7 years to make
yeah,
because it was all hand drawn, and
crazy.
you can tell with the amount of detail in just every character movement and frame. There's so much going on all the time. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't have guessed 7 years to do, but
Yeah,
I was like, this definitely. There's a lot of passion clearly involved in at least.
It took 7 years.
It took 7 years,
That's a long time, and it
and
didn't
it
look like
flopped.
it aged at all. It looks
It
like it
flopped too, I think, in
started in
Japan.
'09. It's pretty good.
yeah, it didn't do very well in Japan. From what I read. Uh, yeah. This director apparently was a kind of like considered a protege of let me get his name here, Yoshiaki Kawajiri, who is the director of movies like Wicked City and like Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust, lots of stuff I haven't seen. Um, but that's like that's like an interesting thing because I feel like stuff I've seen from Vampire Hunter D kind of has that, I don't know, that like shiny look. Like this movie looks kind of shiny and glossy, wouldn't you say?
It
There's a
reminds me
lot of
of
like,
it's like a better version of Afro Samurai. Like it's got more shading and
yeah, I haven't seen Afro Samurai yet.
Afro Samurai is pretty cool. I wouldn't say like better version,
I think it is.
but
I watched it recently.
I think it's just different.
The animation immediately, because it has been so long, I started watching it. I was like, oh yeah, it's like fucking, it's like the flat shiny stuff. I was like, yeah, makes sense. Especially like their weird, like crazy facial expressions throughout Redline.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that
well, it's
matches
a lot
too.
more
I was like,
expressive.
oh,
They took a long time to do that, so that's no
they were
surprise.
insane, and some of them
Yeah.
were so gross too. Like their teeth would show, and I was like, ugh, like, ugh. It's
I
too
like
good.
little details in animation that you don't get to see a lot because it's just costly. I get that, but stuff like their masks falling down and like bringing it back up, or
yeah,
something doing stuff with your teeth, or like they scratch like they. It feels much more like they're moving like actual people would, but I get like why characters that are animated a lot of times don't because that costs money.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But it's just
like
I love little stuff like that.
every frame costs money, which is probably why most films don't look this insane. Uh, yeah, I read that there like isn't like any CGI in this movie, which I would definitely believe. It does not look like there's like nothing in the movie that looked like jarring like that, where it like switches to a different form of animation.
Not even
Uh,
giant creatures.
no, which like that was crazy. That was weird. I guess yeah, we'll say like spoilers. I mean, there's always spoilers for these when we talk about a movie. It's not really like a. I would say it's not very plot driven though. It is more about kind of the spectacle and just the overall like kind of energy of the movie. I
It's got
really I
that in
loved
spades.
Yeah, I loved the first race. Super like exciting
I thought it was a really good
animation.
way of drawing the audience right in. Like I was pretty much hooked like right on that those
Yeah,
opening scenes, that opening race. That was a very good way to hook in the audience.
yeah, and I really like the music in this movie. The like techno music is like really cool. Um, but I guess we'll kind of like relay the plot a little bit. Because again, it's pretty basic. It's about a guy named JP, and the film takes place in a future where there's like, even though we have flying cars and stuff like that, or like hover cars or whatever, uh, people still race and stuff, uh, and it's like really dangerous. I haven't seen like Death Race 2000, but I kind of imagine like this film took a lot of inspiration from that, because there's all the like, characters have different kind of weapons like hidden in their vehicles that like can shoot missiles and shit like that at other racers. Um, it's very, I don't know. It feels very like something you would see in like an 80s movie, but just done with animation. Uh, and yeah, I don't know. Like JP kind of, what do you want to say? Like he loses the first race, which is the yellow line race, which is kind of like the less dangerous, but less like kind of revered race for people interested in racing in this
I think you
universe.
have to win it though to qualify for the red line.
Yeah,
That's what it seemed like.
Well,
it was.
that's the
It
thing.
was
He
the
doesn't. He
top three qualified for Redline.
Yeah, something like that.
something like that. But he like basically comes in last place in the yellow line race
Yes.
and is like severely injured. And the whole reason he loses is because he's basically about to win. He's gunning it toward the finish line, and his friend Frisbee, I think it was his name, is like in debt to the mob because he kind of used mob money, mafia money to like pay for their vehicle and like engines and stuff like that. And uh, Frisbee is like is his mechanic, and he like put a bomb in the car just to like ensure that he wouldn't win, because like they tried to fix the race basically, uh, so that JP would come just in second. Uh, so so yeah, JP's like severely injured, but he still qualifies for the red line competition because he was like
Two of the other
two
racers dropped out.
yeah, two of the other racers drop out, and he like gets one of their spots. Uh, I think just through like popularity voting. I think they say. Was that it? I think it
It
was
was
through
while he's in the
popularity voting.
hospital bed. They left
Yeah,
it up to the fans to vote who wanted to move on.
that's right. Um, yeah, one thing I really like about this movie is that it doesn't like take too much time explaining things. It gets right to the point on pretty much everything.
It almost explains nothing in a lot of sense. Like there's a lot of things it
Yeah,
just doesn't explain.
yeah, like all the like there's just like so many like dog people in the first race. They never explain it. It's just sort of like you have to take it as a sci-fi like sort of fantasy premise, uh that like there's all these different like races of creatures and stuff. uh they're holding the red line race on what's the planet called? It's like Robo something.
Robo Planet, right?
Was it just called Robo Planet?
I thought. Do you know, Dustin?
Oh, Robo World. That was
Robo World. Okay, well, that's close.
Yeah, this is like the same thing.
Good enough.
So they like are they're putting the race on Robo World, even though the president of Robo World doesn't seem to want the race to take place there, and doesn't like racers and the Redline. Like he hates all this stuff, and is basically in the end trying to like kill the racers, which I thought was really fun. Like I think in any other anime movie, that kind of stuff would feel very like boring and kind of it would drag. But I don't know, something about it always kept like again, it just like explained things really quickly, and this president character had like some personality to him, and I liked some of his other like his like goons and stuff. There's just like a lot of like character design and personality put into this movie and energy that helps like kind of alleviate, sort of a simplistic plot, I would say. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think of like some of the characters in the movie? Like JP.
What you thinking, Dustin?
Can I ask something real quick? Did you guys watch the dub or with subtitles?
I watched the
dub.
English version.
I watched the English version too. Dustin, did you watch the English version?
Yeah, dub.
Okay, that's interesting. I like, because I was like almost gonna watch it in Japanese, and then I was kind of like, I kind of wanted to just look at the visuals the whole time, so I turned off subtitles and just watched it in English.
I heard this had a pretty good English dub, so I just went with English.
Yeah, I really liked the dub. Like
Had a lot of
voice
really
actors.
good voice actors that I recognized, so I thought they all did pretty well.
Yeah, lots of voice actors I recognized, but I couldn't like quite place them. But I thought all the voice acting in the dub was really good. I'm sure the Japanese version is good too, but
Oh yeah,
it was I think dubs like at a certain point were like actually pretty damn good. Like 2000s dubs were really good. This is like 2009, so
yeah. A lot of voice actors from like Viz Media and a couple from Funimation that I recognized. So
Yeah,
I thought they all did a really good job.
was it Funimation that did the dub, or
I don't know who did the dub. Who dubbed this? Not seeing who dubbed it.
I
mean, some
felt
of the
like it
voices
was
were
Funimation,
familiar
but
from like other anime dubs that I remember seeing, and I haven't seen that many. I've only seen like Naruto, Full Metal. I can't even think of
Yeah,
any
there
others.
were a couple of Naruto voice actors.
yeah,
sure.
I was
David
like looking up
Lodge.
some of the
David
yeah.
Lodge, Lima O'Brien, Michelle Ruff, Sam Riegel. Yeah, a couple other ones too.
Sam Rico was also wasn't he Tristan in Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm pretty sure I recognize, like that was the one name just even looking at the cast list that I actually recognized. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's from Yu-Gi-Oh.
I think he did something from Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't think it was Tristan.
Let me see. Oh, he was Tristan in the first 10 episodes.
He was the first voice. Okay, yeah,
and then he was Rex Raptor for like over 100 episodes.
Yep.
But yeah, what did you guys think of like some of the characters? Because they're very like I would say they're very like, again, like kind of simplistic, but they're all, I thought, likable. But I want to hear what you guys thought.
I'm interested to hear what Dustin's got to say because this is his second time seeing it. So, Dustin, did you like have a strong impression for the characters the first time, or more like the second time? What do you think seeing it twice? How you feel about the characters?
I liked them all. I didn't look too deep into that, but I didn't like dislike anybody because they were annoying or something. And then I didn't like the evil guys because they were evil. I thought everything was JP's best friend that was like with the mob at the end and how he kind of like stayed loyal. I thought that was kind of nice. I didn't expect that the first time. I forgot about that whole plot, honestly, until I watched this again. Like I didn't remember that at all. And I thought that was kind of cool. Um, I don't have much to say about character wise. I mean, I liked them all. It was entertaining. Every time somebody was on screen, I was like curious about what they had to say or what was going to happen for stuff that I didn't remember. Because honestly, the only things that I did remember character wise would have been like, I don't remember the guy's name, but like the Redline champ before this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Machine Head.
something
Yeah,
like that.
him, stuff like that. So I liked them all. I didn't dislike any. I thought they all fit pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say the two main characters are pretty like standard anime protagonists, I feel. But likable. Like I liked JP. I thought he was a fun character. But
He was
what were you
very
gonna
like.
say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I feel pretty similar about the characters because first of all, this movie's got a ton of characters, like a ton. I couldn't believe like it just
Yeah.
felt like it kept throwing new characters at you every scene for the first half of the movie. I was almost having a hard time following all of them. It's like which character was this? Oh yeah, okay. Which characters was this again? So yeah, a lot of characters, and I definitely agree that none of them are like annoying or anything like that. I think, especially like a lot of the more minor characters, I thought were all pretty memorable and likable, and none of them were like annoying or anything like Dustin said. I do like JP and like the other main cast of characters. I do wish we got like a little bit more development for some of them, or like a little bit more backstory, but I guess it is what it is.
I liked from the side characters, my favorite were the like two brothers that were in the same car and they were like hyping each
yeah.
other up. They're
Yeah.
like, "You're the man! You're the man!" He's like, "I know, bro."
Yeah, like
They
some of
were-
those characters were really funny. I wish we could have like gotten a little bit more of some of that, but
Yeah,
for what we got, it was fine.
yeah, they were cool.
Yeah, on both those points real quick, like just the movie being funny, like I was surprised, like I laughed like quite a bit
Yeah, the movie was
uh
pretty funny.
at just little things. Like those two brothers, like there's a part like in the middle of the movie where it's like cutting to the TV, like and the news, like you know, and it's kind of like introducing each of the racers. Uh and they introduce like those two brothers and they like get into a high speed chase with like a policeman or
Yeah,
something. And it like it like kind of interviews the gorilla policeman first, and he's like just like he just like throws the interviewers like away when they ask questions. Like they're asking him like, is it true that you are having a relationship with your coworker who's like in the background? And then like later he like kisses like a photo of her before like he starts the race. Just like little things like that were really funny. But like
There's a lot of little things that the characters do like that are pretty funny.
yeah, and then they like show the brothers and they like hype them up. They're full of charisma and energy and personality and everything. And then it just like cuts to them like sitting in chairs and they're just like look really pissed off. And like one of them just like fuck you, Gorilla Man, or something like that, and it cuts. Just like yeah, I liked a lot of the just little bits of comedy throughout the movie. Um, this movie reminded me of like Akira in a strange way, in terms of like how
I can
I
see that.
sort of view it. Like Akira is like an animation spectacle. Like
Yeah,
it looks
I can see
so
that.
good. And it's like another movie where it's less about character and more about the world and sort of like how it presents itself, I feel. I really like Akira. I know Will, you've read the books, which I need to do. So you didn't like it quite as much, but I felt like I thought of Akira a lot while watching this, just in terms of like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is like an anime film that's like sci-fi in the future. Doesn't really explain a lot. It's more about visual spectacle. But this one was just like really fun. Like I could see myself just kind of like rewatching this film more, because it was so like energized. Uh, yeah, I loved the racing scenes. Uh, and the designs in this movie, I think that's why like a lot of the side characters kind of stick out. Is like every character in this has like some like unique design, you know. They're like all very different in like scale, like size, uh, personality. It's like
The
look
porn
in
mecha
general.
girls.
Which one?
The
Oh
porn
yeah,
mecha girls that were in the boobs controlling it.
Yeah, when
yeah,
it showed them like there, I'm like, I was just like, I think I said audibly out loud, of course they would be,
of course.
of course.
There was like a
I like how their
some
car was just like this, like female mech. So
yeah.
it's funny.
And there was like another part in the movie where oh God, I'm trying to remember the female lead, Sonoshi. Uh, she's like watching her like interview on TV or whatever, her like segment on TV, and there's like just like a shot that's like just showing her ass basically, and she's like oh great shot, and then she sits down and just like her tits are out. I thought
That
that
was
was kind of funny.
unexpected.
I don't know if that
Especially
was like
since
a
I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know if that
that
was
was
like
the
a
only
dub like
nudity for no reason.
self-awareness to it,
Yeah.
or yeah, it was almost out of place. It was like I was like, whoa, I didn't expect to see that. Um, this movie's like not too like violent or anything either. I think the only like kind of R-rated stuff in the movie is like mostly language. Because they're like calling each other like cocksucker and like pussy and all that kind of shit. They're like trash talking each other like a lot in this movie, which I thought was very funny. Uh, and what was I gonna say though? Um, oh man, I forgot. Oh, with the mech thing. This movie also reminded me a lot of Gurren Lagann. Uh, I don't know if
Oh yeah, I can
you've seen
see
Gurren
that.
Lagann, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
have you seen Gurren Lagann, Dustin? I can't
No,
remember.
I know what it is though.
Okay,
I can
it has
definitely
that
see.
kind of
Yeah, the mechs with that look very humanoid and I get like just even like the movement and how they act definitely felt very Gurren Lagann-y. That makes sense. So I
yeah,
do
and
get what you're saying.
even just like animation, like the speed and
Yeah.
energy of
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if it was
Definitely reminded me of Studio Trigger.
yeah, I don't know if like Gurren Lagann is technically Trigger. It's like one of those like it's basically Trigger, but it like I
Yeah.
think it
It was
was
worked
made
by
before
the
they
same yeah, it was worked on the same people that basically made Studio Trigger. So
yeah.
it's like
Uh
it's not Studio Trigger, but it is.
yeah. It's like Nausicaa with like Ghibli. I don't think it's like technically a Ghibli film, but it might as well be. They like embrace it now. But yeah, I yeah, this reminded me a lot of Studio Trigger. Um, it's kind of crazy though, because like it's like yeah, this movie took like 7 years to make, and I don't know how long Studio Trigger's animations usually take. Um, but I think it's a little different because like Studio Trigger, I feel is more like uh, kind of like cartoonish looking designs. Like
Yeah.
Redlines was very detailed, you know. Uh, and one thing I liked, just like a little thing about the anime, I loved how like kind of heavy the blacks in the pictures look, you know, like everything's very
Yeah.
colorful and then like these solid blacks.
Yeah.
It just like really makes everything pop
Pop.
in the movie. Yeah, it looks great. Like I don't know, I don't know. I feel like we got to talk about the story more because like the animation is kind of like the one thing that really stands out.
Definitely really carries the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What did you guys think of like the story overall? Like, do you think it was Will, do you think it's carried by the animation? Like, kind of said that, but
Like a little bit. I think if you took the story and these characters, and it just had kind of regular animation, then it would not be quite as good.
yeah, I kind of agree. Um, but I don't know. I think you'd agree. Like, it wasn't like it was bad or anything. It was just more like the the it was definitely focused on like the animation though.
Yeah, I would have if this had like the old like 90s type animation. I don't know if I think I would have liked it just as much, but I think objectively, I don't think it would have been as good.
Yeah, I mean, like one thing, like I maybe I know there's like a Initial D, but I can't think of too many like anime that focus on like racing. And I've never seen Initial D, or any like incarnation of it.
Dude,
So I don't know if
I visited the mountain, the famous mountain from Initial D. I went there.
oh really?
Yeah, I used to be like obsessed with that show, and I didn't even finish it. It was just I would watch like the movie, and then I'd watch it, and I think they remade some stuff, and I was into it for a while, and then I didn't know I was near the mountain, and then it was on some like brochure, and I was like, oh, that's 10 minutes away. Let's go. It was not very special. It was just the cool thing, but obviously this has way better animation than Initial D, I guess. I mean, that was also the 90s style at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, well, comparing it to TV, anime, and movie, it's definitely going to be pretty big jump in quality. Can be.
Yeah.
But I think besides Initial D and like Speed Racer, I can't think of too many anime that are about racing. Not too many. Might be some other like more obscure stuff out there, but Initial D and Speed Racer are definitely the two most popular, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did compare it to Akira. There is like kind of I don't know, they're riding motorcycles and stuff in Akira, but it's not about racing or anything. Right. But yeah, I don't know. Like the story is very simple. JP is like in love with Sono. I forgot her name already. Sonoshi.
Sonoshi, yeah.
Yeah. And they like kind of knew each other in the past. It's told in very quick little flashback images and stuff.
Yeah, some of the stuff like that I thought they would eventually kind of touch upon in the movie, but not really. I kept expecting a scene where JP tells her like, "Oh, we actually met before in the past, and you inspired me," but we never got that.
Yeah, it's very like
same
it's kind
with
of just there.
Yeah, same with like we got a little bit of like the relationship with JP and his friend Frisbee, like how they went back. And I kept expecting JP to find out about the bomb that Frisbee placed on like the yellow line, and then like during this race, and I kept thinking he would, like, oh, I put a bomb on your car in the first race, and I did it again, but I'm not going to do that this time, or something along those lines, and that just kind of never happens. I do like how it ended up helping JP win the second time, though.
That was funny.
But like I expected these type of conversations with these characters, and it just kind of never happens.
You know what? And like I've had the same feeling. I was like, when is like JP gonna find out about Frisbee and everything? And then he just kind of explains like, yeah, he knows. He just like knows that Frisbee is like in debt to the mob, and like that they're rigging races and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if he knows specifically about the bomb or anything, but like,
I kept having a feeling that he knew.
Yeah,
but he just didn't say anything because he knew why. But you just kind of have to assume that because it doesn't really tell you. And like I said, they don't have that dialogue.
Yeah, I feel like other typical movies would have that for like kind of like unnecessary drama. I was gonna say like I kind of like at first was taken aback by the fact that this movie didn't have those things in it, and then I was sort of like, I think it's kind of great that it doesn't. Like, it just kind of gets to the point more. It doesn't like need these bits of dramatic like moments or anything. Just like, hey, let's just like keep going. It feels like a yes and kind of movie, you know, like this happens, yes, and like this happens. Like the whole thing with the monster underground that like they're like we have to stop the racers before like the president of Robo World is like we have to stop those racers and kill them before they get to uh what is his name, like Funky Boy.
Funky
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah, when they said that, I was like, wait, what is this? It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, which again
It's like now there's
I
this
kind of
kaiju
liked.
plot. It's
It
so
was so,
strange
like,
though. It's
out
like,
of
where did this
nowhere.
come from? Now it's a kaiju movie?
Yeah, it's so strange too because like I feel it reminded me a lot of Gurren Lagann, and Gurren Lagann was kind of like towards the end it just becomes like let's just keep getting more and more ridiculous to the point where like okay, now you got mechs piloting mechs and they're throwing galaxies at each other and it just gets like totally over the top. And it for some reason that lost me at a certain point. I'm not sure why, but like this movie it was kind of like yeah, whatever, just do any weird crazy shit that you want movie. Like you've got me. I loved when Kaiju Monster came out and then the like police like officer, like police force like commander or whatever is like he like morphs with like a monster to like fight that monster.
The
It just
Colonel.
like gets
I'm
so
out of it keeps getting more and more absurd.
yeah.
I think there were a couple times watching the movie though, I'm gonna be honest, where I kind of wanted it to just focus a little bit more on the race. Because I
I can
think
see that.
it could have just like the race was kind of enough to carry the rest of the movie, but they kept like throwing more and more stuff in, which I'm not going to deny was fun, but there were times where I was like, I just kind of wanted to focus on the race because, like, I think if it had just done that, like, it still would have been just as good. Because I think of the race at the beginning of the movie where you didn't like you had like some crazy stuff, but you didn't have like too much going on except just racing, and that was really good. Like I was already fully engrossed with the movie just doing that. So I don't think it really hurt the movie. But you know, I wouldn't have mind if it focused a little bit more on that.
It's like the new Fast and Furious movies, man.
I
Like they
guess.
don't focus on racing.
Yeah,
I
at
haven't
all.
seen them, so
They're
I'm not
not
surprised.
racing at all. It's just everything else is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least like in Redline, it never like stops becoming about the race. So
Yeah, I mean that monster showing up does like kind of stop the race, but that is sort
yeah,
of like a plot point. Is like
yeah,
they
but it doesn't.
bomb this monster.
Yeah, it's not like
And
that's how the movie ends. Like, okay, well, like none of the racers are all dead or something, or they can't go on, or there's only one left alive, so he automatically wins, or something like that. Like the race does continue. It's just there's only like a couple people left.
yeah, uh, yeah, and like all the racers basically are kind of stopped, uh, and they all have to like repair their vehicles to like get back into the race. Uh, yeah, and I don't know, something about like this movie was just like a weird kind of feel good like kind of movie in a strange way. It felt like less about here's all these like unnecessary character dramas and stuff like that, and more just like there's like a bunch of just like interesting weird characters that you can kind of enjoy and uh see them all like race and do cool things.
Yeah, and I think they're all pretty rememberable because, especially,
Yeah.
it's impressive for having such a large cast of characters, like I said, and to have a lot of the like major and even like minor characters being rememberable. It's like, hey, I'm gonna remember a lot of these like really weird characters. Like I think one that is pretty funny was with JP trying to buy the cigarettes from this old,
Oh yeah.
I guess like old lady one. Just, like gives him a pack that's open. She's like, no, give me an unopened one. She's like, hey, if you don't like it, just leave it.
She had rabies,
I know, just
man.
like
falls asleep.
Yep, that was funny. I liked
Yeah,
weird characters like that.
yeah, I liked the waiter at the restaurant
yeah,
where they sort
it
of
was
like
funny.
introduce like a lot of the other racers and stuff. And like he's clearly like kind of like infatuated with Sonoshi, and then like like JP pulls his pants down. And then I think there's like a part where like he's like crying like at like a table with other waiters, and he's just like she saw everything or something like that.
He was wearing them
Just like
tidy whitey, you know.
yeah,
It shapes, it outlines everything.
just very like again, just like those quick little bits of comedy like made me laugh a lot. And then like they introduce some other like police officer guy or like military guy who is like upset that like one of the racers is like has joined the race because he thinks like, oh, he's like, you're abandoning me, and he like cries about it.
Oh yeah, the crying dude. That guy was something.
It reminded me of like Jacuzzi from like Baccano or something. Just like characters like crying unnecessarily.
That was the only character that kind of came close to being annoying because it kept like showing them out for this other character that he was beating up earlier, and I'm like, why keep showing me these guys? I like why? I don't care. Like stop showing me this dude. It's like there's even like this where it's like I got to do this. I gotta disobey your orders and I finish this race. I gotta do this. Like who are you? Who are you?
Like, I'd rather die than than like than have this guy like in the race.
Yeah, I know. It's like, why does he hate this guy so much? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just there. It just happens.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It was funny to me. Like he's like beating up on the guy, but he's the one crying. Like he's like kicking this guy's ass, but he's like just bawling like a baby at it. And there was like those bounty hunter guys who like I think like sneak into the facility or something. I think they like shut off the power or something like that. I liked their designs. They were pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like I don't know. I wanted to watch Death Race 2000 before this because I was very curious like how much similarity there is in them. You know, kind of like no rules like racing where you can like attack the other opponents and stuff like that. Because like those premises I feel like are under like used, and I think they're it always makes for some fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. Just like lots of fun character and energy. I don't know, like what else is there to talk about? I feel like this is going to be a fairly short video.
How'd you like the ending? We can talk about that.
I thought it needed a little bit more of a like kind of energetic.
I don't know.
Yeah, I keep saying energetic, but
I thought it was a little strange how it ended. Like they crossed the finish line, and then JP and Sonoichi, right?
Yeah,
confess their love, and then it just ends. It's like
it was quick.
Okay.
I mean,
I could tell like JP had. I could tell like JP had. I mean, you could tell like they developed feelings for each other like at the end, but it's just so like abrupt. Which hey, maybe that fits this movie. Just abruptness. Abrupt. The whole movie is just kind of abrupt, and then has an abrupt ending, and there you go. I just thought it was interesting. Like, oh, okay. It's not gonna show like anything after the race or anything like that. Just kind of like, confess, and that's it.
I guess I didn't mind how it ended. It was more like I wish there was more like maybe like more sweeping music to go along with it to make it really feel like it was the ending. You know what I mean? There's something about
that's what I'm saying. That like just feels a little abrupt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all our budget can do.
Yeah, it's like we
spent 7 years.
Too much time on this.
Let's just release it.
Done.
That's the ending.
Yeah, I did think it was like cute how it says like love at the end and then the end. I thought another thing that was cute was like the opening kind of title with where it says Redline.
Oh yeah, that's pretty neat.
Like someone says Redline and then they say like directed by Takashi Koike. Like I thought that was like I don't know, just like a weird little thing that I liked. That like you never see any other movie like just like announce its director, you know. And I looked up like this was like his first movie that he directed, which is like insane.
Good job on him. Shit.
Yeah, and then I think after that he's only directed like some of the more recent like Lupin the third like films. Like I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see those now, but I don't know if they're like I don't know if they're live action. I think they're animated.
I'm pretty sure they're animated. Lupin the Third is anime too.
Yeah, but I mean it could. Yeah, it seems like they're animated. I don't think they're like the 3D ones, but I'm checking. I'm looking. Yeah, they look animated and they look like they have that. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. There's like always like so many adaptations of shit. I need to like look up specifically. But yeah, I don't know. Like what else is there to say about the movie? Like the animation's great. Like I think that's like the one thing that you should see this movie for. Like even if you aren't into animation, I feel like this is still just like really impressive to look at.
You know, I think it's funny though that I don't know if Dustin you intended this, but since you talked about Afro Samurai earlier, he directed like the pilot, I guess, for Afro Samurai. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that since you talked about Afro Samurai earlier. It's like he directed the TV pilot. So
that's interesting. Another thing I saw that he directed was one of the segments in the Animatrix, which was really cool.
That. Those shorts.
It had it was like the world record one that again it had like very stylized, kind of very fluid animation. So yeah, I don't know. I'm actually like really curious. Like I kind of hope these Lupin films are they look like a little less stylized because it's like fitting into Lupin, but I don't know. I want to see more stuff from this guy.
yeah, it looks like he was also like the key animator on Samurai Shampoo, and he did the opening animation for that for episode 5 as well. That definitely, like, seeing Redline's art style kind of made me think a little bit of Samurai Shampoo as well, so that makes sense. Especially like the darker lines that really kind of highlights the character, makes the colors pop. That's definitely there in Samurai Shampoo at times, especially the opening. If you haven't seen the opening for Samurai Shampoo, then definitely check it out. Very good. Yeah, he's been like the animation director and key animator on a lot of like really cool stuff. So
okay, so that's good. That's good that he's still working. And I saw that he did like animation segments for like in live action films, like The Taste of Tea. It's like a pretty well known cult film from Japan, I believe, and like Funky Forest was another one that I saw he was credited under. Yeah, like really, really cool animation. Yeah, and like story wise, like it is very simple. It's very like straightforward in a way. Like some things they don't explain, but like they don't really have to. And it's just I don't know. It's just like a good time. I feel like if you put it on with friends, you'd all just like really kind of cheer for it, And like it is a movie about racing. It is a sports movie, so it's like it has that kind of feel good, kind of cheer worthy, quality to it. I feel. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else to say? This is gonna be a pretty short one. I feel.
no, there's not like too much else to say really. You, Dustin?
Yeah, I got nothing. I agree with just about everything everyone has said.
Yeah.
Did you like it more though, Dustin, this time around, or same, or?
From what I remember, what I remembered, I knew the animation was really good the whole time, even when I saw it forever ago. and then I didn't see it when it came out or anything.
Do you remember what year you saw it the first time? Out of
Probably
curiosity.
must have been either at the end of high school or right after. So 2013 to 2015, probably. But I think I enjoyed it more this time because I remember the first time when I finished it, I thought it was good. But I just never went back to it. Like I forgot about it for years. And it wasn't until maybe like 2, 3 years ago, it was like a scene from Yellow Line was like in my recommended on YouTube, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a cool movie. And then I watched it this time. I think I enjoyed it more this time, but I couldn't tell you why. I just think I did, to be honest. Also, I have a soft spot for any kind of racing car type deal. Because I like working on cars a little bit, even though I'm kind of a newbie to it. So anything mechanical, I'm kind of a fan of, just because it piques my, like, scratches the folds on my brain a little bit. So I think alongside that new hobby, I enjoyed it more, like, because of that now as well. But even without that, I did too. So yeah, I mean, I liked it way more this time, I guess.
I can't be the only one who definitely got like Cowboy Bebop vibes from some of the stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you
Kind
say?
of like the space aspect.
Yeah, and just how like the machines worked, like they almost had that kind of 80s sci-fi machine look
Mhm.
to it, don't you think?
Yeah.
A little bit.
They looked like the spaceships from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not the only one then. I got
Like-
strong Cowboy Bebop vibes.
I think JP's car is like the only one that looks like a car.
Yeah.
You know, everything
Everything
else
else
looks like a sci-fi like spaceship.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a real obscure reference here. Well, I guess not too obscure, but a lot of the ships in this, I guess Cowboy Bebop too, but it wouldn't make sense to phrase it this way. But a lot of the ships in this, actually, I should say the opposite. A lot of the ships in Destiny 2 look like the spaceships here, like almost uncanny.
Yeah.
Like there's a few models that I could probably pop up that are like almost the same, and I was just like, oh yeah, I think I have that one, like like something like that. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I guess it, not to take it down, I just thought it was cool that, I guess, that idea was that good. I don't know if anyone in good old Bungie used this as reference, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I feel like that's entirely possible. I mean, I think like, you know, lots of animators work in video games. Like
True.
if you're an animator, like you got to see this.
Yeah, they probably have. I guess. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like there was the main like fighter ships or whatever from Robo World that came down at the end, like when the colonel ordered all units and whatever, and they all came down from the sky. There's a ship in that game that quite literally looks like this same. And I was just like, oh, lit. That's kind of awesome, actually. Like seeing it in action and then in like a cool form. I don't know. It was like my kid imagination was piqued.
Yeah, I feel like I would have like really loved this as a kid.
Yeah.
Like super fun. And there's boobs in it, and so I probably would have liked it as a kid.
5 seconds.
For 5 seconds, but
You
yeah,
take
very,
a picture
very
of
like
it
out
with
of
your
place.
LG
But
chocolate flip phone. That reference went over so many people's heads. If any Zoomers click on this,
one thing I
your
wanted to mention, I looked up
razor?
the music. I looked at the composer, and not like a ton of other things I like recognized, but he has like scored the other Lupin films that this director has done. So maybe the music's really good in those. You know? That'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much to say. I thought it was just like really fun. I was like, it's funny. Like I woke up, I went to bed late, like the day before yesterday, and then I had to wake up early that day, and then I went to bed late. I was like really tired today. Then this movie just like was like a
Woke you
shock
up.
defibrillator. Like it put me back to life. so much fun. And I never felt bored in it, you know? Like it kept moving, kept like
Yeah,
doing
it's
interesting
very
things.
fast paced.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Should we just get into ratings? I think we're
Yeah, sounds good.
pretty much done with the movie. Will, you picked it. What would you rate it?
I think I'm kind of torn between a 3.5 and 4. I think I'll give it a solid 4. It's fun, definitely a fun movie. I think I would have. I'm not going to give it a 5 because I would have liked to see a little bit more from some of the characters, some type of development or a little something extra than kind of what we got. But they were all still pretty fun overall, and it's just a movie. Kind of like you said, just watch it, have a good time. Doesn't try to be anything overly complex. Just there to have fun, and I had a fun time watching it. I just wish that we gotten a couple of scenes, a little bit more dialogue from some of the characters, maybe a little bit more development. Would have liked to see to flesh out some of the characters and make some of them a little bit more unique or memorable. But for what we got, it was fun. So I'll give it a 4. Definitely
All
recommend.
right. Dustin, what would you give it?
3.5 for me.
3.5.
Pretty solid 3.5. I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch some like clips of it over time on YouTube of like certain races or something, or some quick cuts or something like that. But I don't think I'd ever go watch the whole thing again. Not because I don't like it. I don't. Its rewatchability for me, for some reason, just isn't really there. And I think that plays a big part in whether I like something or not, because it's like comforting to watch. So I enjoyed it, but to kind of keep my scale, I think balanced here, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
All right. Man, I'm a little bit torn between giving it 4 or 4.5. I really enjoyed this movie, and I feel like it was something that I could definitely see myself rewatching a lot in the future.
Yeah, I could definitely
Uh,
see myself rewatching it as well. I don't know like
yeah,
how far down the line, but how far down the red line, how to do it.
down the red line.
But
Uh,
yeah, definitely something I'd rewatch.
yeah. I think the only thing that made me think like maybe I should give it a 4 instead was the ending. If it like really kind of had some really great music to kind of like accentuate that moment at the end, I would have liked that more. But I don't know. I wonder because like I wonder if it'll be an issue for me on the second time. Like I feel like a lot of issues that I had with the movie are going to be like totally forgiven by the time I see this again. I almost watched this movie again, just like right after seeing it. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh, man,
Go with your gut then. Go with the gut.
I'm gonna give it a 4, um, which is like a really high rating for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I would compare this to like Akira, but a more kind of entertaining, fun uh, sort of movie. Uh, it's yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Like I love the music. I got the Blu-ray, and after the movie ended, it goes to the menu and like it keeps playing some of the music, and like I just kept listening to it. It was so much fun. Uh, yeah, I think 4 stars is really solid though. So that's my rating. Let me see what that takes the score to. Uh, okay, so we got it tied with a couple other movies. Let me bring up the list. Uh, it puts the average to a 3.8 out of 5, uh, which means that it's tied with The Evil Dead and The Batman. So, do we like this more than The Evil Dead?
Yes.
I get. I guess I don't, but I still really liked it. But I think I like Evil Dead more. But
I think if I had to choose which one I would rewatch, I think I'd be a little bit more inclined for Redline.
I think that's totally fair. Yeah. Now what about the Batman? Because I
No.
think I liked this more than the Batman.
Definitely
that's-
better
that's-
taste.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
shorter too. Yeah.
yeah. I think definitely for just pacing issues and length wise, I would. If someone asked like, would you rather watch the Batman or Redline again? I probably would go with Redline
Okay, so that's
for me
two
at
votes
least.
from us. But Dustin, do you think Batman or Redline? Which one's
Batman.
Batman? Okay. Well, you're outvoted anyway, but
I didn't know we were voting.
Yeah, that's how
well,
we do it
yeah,
usually
we
for
each
the
vote
order.
for if it goes up
Wait,
the list.
what are we doing?
We've done this every time. So it's tied with the Evil Dead and the Batman in terms of like average rating from us.
I'm just now getting the fact. I didn't realize that we were actually submitting a vote to what we all thought was bad. I thought we were just giving a quick opinion. This is the first time I'm understanding this.
Okay. I thought it was pretty clear from the get-go. That's what we were doing.
It probably was, but
I understood, Julian. If that makes you feel any better.
Fuck, I would have given the other ones more thought.
Well, okay, well,
I still think that Batman's better in this case, just because I like Batman so much. He's the only superhero from DC I like, so I gotta go with Batman.
Or the Evil Dead should be higher?
I think this should be higher than Evil Dead. I would watch this more often.
So your answers haven't changed then?
No.
Yeah.
Just the context behind the answers have changed. But for the other ones, this is just easy for me. But I can't imagine a specific thing. But I would have given it more thought. I didn't realize we were like gonna rank them on a list like that. I thought we were just
better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Fuck. I had no idea. I don't know why that just clicked for me.
I think it would end up being the same anyway.
I think so.
Maybe. I don't know. I think one or two might have changed.
I mean, do you think like John Carter was like we have Chippendale higher than John Carter? You think Chippendale is better than John Carter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you thought Batman was higher than Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And then I think the only other one was like Houseu and the Suicide Squad, which I think
you're right.
Will and I both voted for Houseu. So you would have been outvoted either way.
Why do you have to say outvoted? Like I'm lesser opinion here.
Because it's 2-1. It is outvoted.
That isn't outvoted.
We did 3 votes.
You're phrasing this wrong. We're voting which is better. You're saying it in a context of like you're voting against me. I'm not voting against you. I'm voting against myself. What are you gonna say it so negatively? Well, what is going on here?
I didn't think he was, but okay.
I'm gonna start shit talking all your movies, even if I like it. I'm gonna shit talk it the whole time and then give it a 5 at the end. I'm gonna fucking wrap your head around that one.
The only way I can think of saying is like we did outvote you. You know,
stop saying it like that.
That's an accurate way of saying it. I don't like we're all taking a vote, and 2-1 is an outvote
meeting, man. Well, I'm not voting against you guys. I'm just saying.
We're just voting for
the way my head's working right now is we all have our own list. Mine is still like I still think mine's good, even if you outvote me. My list didn't change.
It's more like the movie got outvoted.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I don't think if anyone's watching this, I don't think that they're gonna care too much about this. So we should just probably wrap this up.
I'm making a big deal of it for comedic effect.
Oh,
I know.
Okay. I bet most people have clicked off at this point. If someone,
I hope people are pissed off. In fact, I hope we get big enough to where I can do this, and there's just hundreds of comments shitting on me, so I can reply to every single one.
Well, people clicked off right when we all said that we watched the dub.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
That is true.
Which I honestly thought I was going to be the only one who watched the dub, and that you guys would have watched the sub, and like I would have been the odd man out.
And we all watched in English.
This is
it was good.
The only piece of anime media in any form that I watched the dub of by choice. The only 2 other dubs I've seen that I can remember right now which I said before were Naruto and Full Metal, were only because I saw it on TV and it was in English. So I continued it in English because I didn't want to switch the voices.
Even Bebop?
Yeah, I think no, I didn't.
Cowboy
I've seen
Bebop's
it
also
in
like gotta
English.
be watched in English.
I've seen it in English, but I didn't watch it first time. I was late to the party on that one. I watched it in Japanese.
So I'm pretty sure even like the director admitted the English dub was like the superior.
Oh yeah, I think it's better
version.
personally. This is the first movie though that I ever, even the first time I was like English, and I don't know why, but I think I made the right choice in this because I feel like if I listen to the Japanese dub of this, I'm not gonna like it.
I don't know. I think it would be good, but it
I'm
was
sure it's
funny
fine.
because like when I put the Blu-ray in, it's like, it was English, like right away, and I was kind of like, oh my god, I forgot like that's a thing. Like that feels like a outdated thing now, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
English dubs anime. That was like, I feel like much bigger in the 2000s and in the 90s.
Yeah, now a lot more people just watch it in Japanese.
But yeah, that's enough anime talk from us weebs. What's the next movie? Is it gonna be another horrible
Grown-Ups 2?
nightmare?
I was very seriously considering 3 movies, of which I will list all 3, and then I don't.
Not at the same time, right? Like for us to watch.
No. It was just between 3.
Okay.
It was between The Frozen Ground with Nick Cage, Wind River with the Avengers and the Multiverse, because it's by the same actors, and then Cheaper by the Dozen, the original. I decided while we were talking which one I was gonna pick. I kind of think I knew before, but it's gonna be 2017's Wind River. I know it's streaming on Netflix. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere else.
I think it's a Netflix movie, so I think it's only on Netflix, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I've heard about this movie. I just haven't checked it out yet.
I should have done Cheaper by the Dozen to keep up the gag that I got going on here. Just like older comedies.
Well, okay, yeah, this sounds interesting.
I was really hoping Dustin would actually just go with Grown-Ups 2, just like Julian's reaction, just be like, just kidding, they're not Grown-Ups 2.
That's a possibility.
Julian would have believed it. He would have believed it if you did, and I would have died.
Well, to be fair, I like that movie. I don't think it's as good as the first, but
I did check it is on Netflix, but I guess it's not Netflix original. So you could rent it on other things if you wanted to, but it is on Netflix for free, or free, whatever. So yeah, next week's movie is Wind River from 2017, starring Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
and the Punisher
in the Doctor Strange movie. So yeah, check that out and watch along, and we'll discuss it next week. And we'll see you then. That's it for this time.
Peace.
Bye.